the last garden on the rooftops where color remembers the rain. In a city drained of color where the rain hadn't fallen in years, where even memories began to fade into a perpetual twilight of gray, there existed one small, defiant bastion of life, utterly untouched by the creeping monochrome. This was no ordinary urban landscape, it was a canvas, meticulously stripped bare, every vibrant hue painstakingly leached away by an unnamed, unseen force, leaving behind only the stark, muted palette of despair. The sky above, once a boundless expanse of azure and cerulean, was now a uniform, oppressive blanket of ash reflecting the city's profound exhaustion. Buildings, once proud monuments to human ambition, stood like hollowed out husks, their windows empty eyes staring into nothingness. The very air seemed to carry a heavy silence, broken only by the mournful sigh of the wind whispering through neglected alleyways. In this realm of endless desolation, where hope itself felt like a quaint, forgotten concept, there was one place, singularly unique and fiercely alive, a garden. It was nestled atop the weathered roof of an old apartment building, a secret world suspended precariously between the lifeless pavement below and the indifferent, colorless sky above. It was a defiant splash of anachronistic green, in a world that had long since surrendered to monochrome. This garden was an enigma, a living paradox. No one sought it out, for the city had forgotten the very language of growth, the simple poetry of a seed pushing through soil. No one remembered how to visit such a place, how to even perceive its existence amidst the overwhelming gray. In this era of perpetual fading, where the past itself was a blurry, indistinct shape, the very notion of growing things felt like a long-forgotten fairy tale, a whisper from a time that had passed beyond all recollection, a myth from a sun-drenched epoch that no one alive had ever witnessed. Yet, miraculously, someone was still there, an old caretaker known only as Irie, a whisper of a woman, whose presence was as quiet and persistent as the slow, inexorable turning of the earth. Her face, a roadmap of gentle wrinkles, held the stories of countless seasons of sunrises and sunsets that had long since been painted over by the city's dreary palette. Her eyes, though clouded by age, held a spark, a distant glint of a forgotten light. Every morning, with a devotion that bordered on sacred, a ritual passed down through forgotten generations, Irie would embark on her solitary pilgrimage. Up the rusted, creaking stairwell, she ascended, each step a rhythmic prayer against the encroaching silence, a deliberate act of defiance against the world's surrender. The metal groaned beneath her weight, echoing her quiet struggle, but she never faltered. In her gnarled, strong hands, hands that had known the soil intimately for decades, she carried a tin watering can. Its surface, once gleaming, was now dulled and scratched by the relentless passage of time, but its purpose remained profound, a vessel of quiet miracles. It was not filled with water, for water was a luxury, an unattainable dream, a ghost of a concept in this parched, thirsty world. The city's reservoirs were dust, its rivers mere dry scars on the landscape. No, this can was filled with something far more precious, more potent, more ethereal. Remembered rain. The memory of rain. It was a substance born not of physical precipitation, but of longing, of recollection, of an unyielding belief in what once was and what could be again. It was the distilled essence of a million forgotten raindrops gathered from the deepest recesses of Irie's own heart and mind. Each droplet shimmered with a faint, almost imperceptible light, imbued with the potent magic of memory itself. It was a ritual, far more profound and ancient than any mundane chore, more akin to a sacred offering. With each delicate pour, she didn't just nourish the parched soil she invoked. She coaxed. She remembered for the world. As she whispered old names, names that tasted of forgotten springtimes and sun-drenched summers, names that resonated with the vibrant life they once represented, names like Rose, soft and yearning, a bloom of fragile beauty; Basil, sharp and hopeful, promising flavor and life; marigold, bright and defiant. A fiery burst of golden light, the colors began to flicker, not from the ground itself, not yet, for the physical world remained stubbornly gray, but from memory, from the depths of the city's collective unconscious, from the dormant dreams of its forgotten past. The hues began to stir. They were hesitant at first, like faint echoes in a dream, mere suggestions of what once was, then growing bolder, a nascent luminescence, a faint shimmer of possibility against the pervasive monochrome. It was a miracle of the mind, a testament to the power of unwavering belief. Below, in the dusty, silent streets, the city's inhabitants trudged through their colorless routines, their faces etched with a weariness that had settled deep into their bones. They moved like shadows, their footsteps muted, their voices hushed by the overwhelming weight of their muted existence. They were utterly oblivious to the miracle unfolding above them. They passed beneath the very structure that cradled this quiet. Miracle walked directly under the vibrant, reawakening garden, unaware that directly above their heads, life, vibrant, tenacious, impossible life, still pulsed quietly, a hidden heartbeat in the suffocating stillness, a secret whisper of defiance against the pervasive silence. Children, born into this age of perpetual gray, who had never known the simple joy of a truly green leaf, never felt the soft velvet of a petal, never witnessed the explosive wonder of a blooming flower, began to dream. Their slumber became canvases for vivid, impossible colors. They saw crimson and gold, sapphire and emerald, hues they had never witnessed in their waking lives, but which resonated deep within their nascent souls, awakened by some unseen force. The wind which once carried only the sterile dust of despair, the grit of forgotten futures, now carried something else, something utterly new and intoxicating, the faint, nascent scent of green. It was the earthy aroma of damp soil, the subtle sweetness of unfolding petals, the clean, crisp essence of new growth. It was a subtle, almost imperceptible shift, but it was there, a promise whispered on the breeze, a palpable breath of hope that permeated the very air. One day, a boy named Theo, with eyes that held an ancient curiosity beyond his years, eyes that seemed to possess a deeper understanding than those of his jaded elders, somehow found his way to the rooftop. Perhaps it was the scent carried by that hopeful wind, a fragrant trail leading him upwards, or a flicker of color, a fleeting crimson flash caught at the very edge of his vision, pulling him onward. He ascended the same rusted stairs, his youthful footsteps lighter, filled with a nascent wonder. He stood before Irie, a small, fragile figure against the vastness of the reawakening garden. His young face, though marked by the city's prevailing resignation, held a flicker of something new, a dawning comprehension. He looked at the fragile, flickering beauty of the garden, a place of impossible vibrancy, then, back at the old woman, her hands still stained with the rich, dark earth. His voice, though soft, carried the weight of a world that had forgotten how to hope, a world steeped in loss. "Why do you care for something that's already gone?" he asked, his words a direct reflection of the city's profound amnesia, a question born of generations of forgotten beauty. Irie, her face a tapestry of quiet wisdom, of endless patience and unwavering belief, simply smiled. It was a smile that held the warmth of countless sunrises, the resilience of deep roots pushing through rock, and the gentle understanding of cycles unending. It was a smile that promised more than it revealed. "Because it remembers how to come back," she replied, her voice a gentle murmur like the rustle of leaves in a long-forgotten breeze, yet imbued with an unshakable certainty, a profound, quiet power. She spoke not just of the plants, but of memory itself, of hope, of life's eternal resilience. And as the camera slowly, reverently pulled away, ascending higher and higher, revealing more and more of the city's vast, desolate expanse, a miracle unfolded, not with a sudden burst, but with a quiet, inexorable grace. Not just on Irie's rooftop, the original genesis of this impossible rebirth, but subtly, tentatively, across the entire urban landscape. One by one, then, in gentle clusters like shy, awakened dreams, the rooftops began to bloom. They were not yet riots of color, but soft, hesitant greens, faint purples and muted yellows, a slow, spreading blush across the once barren concrete. It was not the explosive, immediate vibrancy of a sudden summer, but a quiet, persistent determination, a gentle awakening from a long, deep slumber, like the memory of rain, long forgotten, finally waking up the sky itself, painting it with ethereal hues of blue and green and gold, spreading outwards, a gentle, unstoppable tide of renewal, a quiet revolution of life against the encroaching gray, proving beyond all doubt that even if the world forgets how to bloom, even if every last petal withers and every last memory fades, someone, somewhere, always remembers how to begin again. The cycle, though broken, was reforming, drop by precious drop, hue by nascent hue, breath by hopeful breath. And in the heart of that weary city, a new story was beginning, written in the vibrant, defiant language of life itself.